Good morning. I'm Dr. Debbie Bird, Dean of East Tennessee State University Bill Gatton College of Pharmacy, and it is my pleasure to welcome each of you here in person to this special occasion. I'm grateful that we can have this event on campus together and in this beautiful new space, the ETSU Martin Center for the Arts. Thank you for your incredible patience over the past year during the COVID-19 pandemic. The White Coat Ceremony is an important milestone for an aspiring pharmacist. The moment today is long overdue, and I'm excited to finally celebrate this achievement with you all. I appreciate you all wearing your mask while inside as required by the university. While no one wants to wear a mask, it's our duty to protect those who cannot get the vaccine or those who choose not to. If you've not taken the step to get vaccinated, please do so as soon as possible. This is our best chance of staying together and getting back to normal. If you have questions or concerns about the vaccine, please talk to your pharmacist or other healthcare provider, and thank you again for wearing our face coverings. That's the only way that we can be here today. The mission of ETSU, Gatton College of Pharmacy, is to develop progressive, team-oriented pharmacists to improve healthcare with a focus on the rural and underserved communities. With about a third of our students from rural zip codes, I feel many of our student pharmacists chose this college with that singular mission in mind. At Gatton, we take pride in how we give back and make an impact on our region. And I want to share just a few statistics with you. This year, our graduating class of 2021 vaccinated over 10,000 patients from Chattanooga, Tennessee to Hillsborough, Virginia, and beyond, all between December 2020 and April 2021 alone. As a college, students and faculty combined, we have assisted in vaccinating 29,000 patients with the COVID-19 vaccine and volunteered over 2,500 hours, which is about 3.5 months. Never underestimate the difference you can make as a pharmacist. This year, the college's American Pharmacists Association Academy of Student Pharmacists Generation RX Committee was awarded the APHA ASP National Generation RX Chapter Achievement Award for 2019-2020. This is the 8th year in a row that the chapter has been recognized either nationally or regionally, and the 4th time the chapter has been named winner in the category. Overall, ETSU Generation RX has earned first or second runner-up or winner 7 times and is the most nationally recognized Generation RX committee in the country. The goal of Generation RX is to educate people of all ages to prevent prescription drug abuse, misuse, which is an epidemic that has affected many of our families. In addition, Gatton's APHA ASP chapter earned the 2019-2020 Division AAA first runner-up for chapter achievement. This marks the 6th year in a row that our chapter has been recognized nationally as either first or second runner-up or winner in our division. The chapter also took home the OTC Medicine Safety 2019-2020 Region 3 Award. Just a few weeks ago, at their national conference, our Student National Pharmaceutical Association took home 4 national honors, including winning the National Scrapbook Competition. I could go on and on about the outstanding work our students are doing in the community. We are enormously proud of their efforts to make a difference in the lives of the people of this region. Like some of you, I'm a first-generation college student, and I recall feeling the nervousness and excitement that I'm sure you're experiencing as I began my journey to becoming a pharmacist. But it was my desire to help patients and to serve the underserved that motivated me, even during the most challenging aspects of pharmacy school. This is a day that has been long in the making for the student pharmacists on this stage. For them, it also began with a desire to seek a profession in healthcare and culminated with their decision to pursue the practice of pharmacy and admission to pharmacy school. Most importantly, it meant choosing Bill Gatton College of Pharmacy as their school of choice. Let's give them all a round of applause. Now I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Dr. Kimberly McCorkle began serving as the new provost and senior vice president for academics at East Tennessee State University on July 12th, following the retirement of Dr. Wilsie Bishop in June after 43 years of distinguished service to the university. McCorkle came to ETSU from the University of West Florida, where she spent 19 years and served as vice provost and professor. There, McCorkle held a faculty appointment in criminal justice and legal studies, and prior to moving to the office of the provost, served as chair and professor in the Department of Legal Studies, Public Administration, and Sports Management. We are pleased to have her leadership here at ETSU. Please join me in welcoming Dr. McCorkle.
Thank you, Dr. Bird. Good morning, everyone. Morning. Welcome. On behalf of the faculty at East Tennessee State University, it's my pleasure to join you all today and bring greetings and congratulations. To the students in the class of 2024, welcome to the ceremony, which is part of the rite of passage in becoming a pharmacist. You are entering a field that is committed to caring for others, and as the Gatton College of Pharmacy website declares, the world needs you, now more than ever. Donning the white coat represents your dedication to healthcare, to the pharmacy profession, and to the well-being of your patients. With the white coat, you acquire a powerful symbol of professionalism that brings with it responsibilities and obligations. I trust that you will accept these responsibilities and be a credit to the Gatton College of Pharmacy and to ETSU. To the friends and the families who are here today, looking across the audience, I can see many smiling faces and feel your excitement. Admission to pharmacy school for these students is an important event in their lives, and it's also significant for those of you who have helped them reach this point. I hope that you all enjoy this day of affirmation and celebration and treasure the memories. Your support of these students has helped get them here, and you should be proud of your contributions to their success. Students in the class of 2024, please accept my congratulations and very best wishes as you begin your studies. We are pleased to have you as part of ETSU and the ETSU family. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McCorkle. Dr. Brian Noland was appointed the 9th president of East Tennessee State University in January 2012. Prior to that time, Dr. Noland's most recent position was Chancellor of the West Virginia Higher Education Policy Commission. He received both his BA and MA degrees from West Virginia University and a PhD from the University of Tennessee. Dr. Noland is leading our university to the next level. We appreciate his leadership, and we continue to be excited about his passion for higher education and his vision for ETSU. Please join me in welcoming our president, Dr. Brian Noland, to the podium.
Dr. Bird, thank you and good morning. On behalf of our Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to welcome the families to the Martin Center for the Arts as we celebrate the White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2024. I want to take a second to put this morning in perspective. These students are here today because of the dedication and the commitment of our community to make this college possible. Because more than a decade and a half ago, when this region dreamed of a college of pharmacy, many across the state stepped forward and said it was not needed in Appalachia. But our community led, and thanks to the leadership of many in the room, including Gary Mabry, who's joining us today, this college exists because of the community. We're in a room today that exists because of the community. Our community stepped forward after more than 40 years and realized the dream of a Center for the Arts, a Center for Celebration, and a Center for the Community. And members of the class of 2024, that is the movement and the legacy from which you begin to move forward. You're part of an institution that's focused on improving the lives of the people of the region. You've been dreaming of this moment for years. In fact, you've had a year delayed to arrive at this moment. But your dreams for this moment may have begun in high school, middle school, and elementary school when you were inspired by a healthcare provider. And my charge to you this morning as you begin to look forward is to continue to pass along that inspiration, to reach out to neighbors or friends who are undecided about their future careers and talk to them about the importance of a career in the health sciences. Now, more than ever, we need you, we need your talents, and we need your passion. Our nation and our region is facing an unprecedented challenge with COVID-19. I thank you for the work that you've done. I thank you for the work that you will do. And I look forward to seeing you realize your dreams in the months to come as you continue to progress here at the university. The education and training that you receive are a cornerstone of your career in pharmacy. In addition to the skills and science, don't forget that making a career truly rewarding is part of service to others. Thank you for beginning that career here at the university. Godspeed to each of you.
One tradition at Gatton College of Pharmacy is the second year or PT class president's welcome to the incoming class. Since this ceremony was delayed, our P3 class president, Jonathan Holan from Morristown, Tennessee, will now welcome the class of 2024 on behalf of our student body.
Thank you for the introduction, Dean Bird. Welcome, class of 2024, and a special welcome to all the wonderful family and friends who are here today. Today is a special day, as it is a celebration of your adventure here at the Bill Gatton College of Pharmacy. As I look around, I can see smiling eyes full of joy and pride. You all have dedicated a great amount of time and effort to be here, and you absolutely deserve to be here. In a normal year, I would be welcoming you all as the P2 class president, reassuring you about your decision to attend this wonderful school. However, as we all know, this has not exactly been a normal year. While I missed the opportunity to address you last year, I'm grateful to have this chance to speak to you today. 2 years ago, I was in the exact same position you are, sitting in my seat, listening to speeches, while both nervous and excited about the future. I was one of the youngest in the class, had no meaningful work or leadership experience, and was uncertain about what the future would hold. Today, I am the one here speaking to you, and I want you all to be proud of what you have accomplished. You have likely heard that time flies in pharmacy school. One moment, you're meeting your classmates for the very first time, while the next, you're meeting other pharmacists at your rotations. I would guess that you have already experienced that firsthand. For many of you, I'm certain that this past year flew by. But for others, perhaps it did not go fast enough as you looked forward to meeting your classmates in person one day. That day has arrived. I urge you to look around, as those sitting beside you are your family. These are the people who will support you through thick and thin, through your successes and your failures. You may have met each other virtually, but let me tell you, Gatton is a whole new experience in person. As you walk this road together, you will feel yourself growing closer to each other, and you may find yourself meeting late at night to study together, laugh together, cry together, and everything in between. This extends to the faculty and staff as well, as they all sincerely care about you. Get to know your classmates and professors and keep them close, as they will open so many doors and opportunities. I am certain that you will be challenged. Without a doubt, there will be sleepless nights and times where you doubt yourself. However, I want you to know that I admire you. You have already overcome unprecedented adversity. There is no other class that can claim to have made it through their P1 year during a global pandemic. There is no other class who has been tested as you all have been. The good news is that it only goes up from here. It is time for you to grow, to get involved, to find opportunities, and to grasp them with both hands. Take on leadership roles and be a part of something bigger. Make a difference in the lives of others, and more than anything, your own. Your journey may have begun last year, but now it is up to you to make it a journey to remember. Congratulations, class of 2024, and welcome to the Gatton family.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker and guest coder today, Dr. Michael Hogue. Dr. Hogue became Dean of the Loma Linda University School of Pharmacy in January 2019 after serving in several administrative and clinical roles at Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama. Dr. Hogue has many experiences in pharmacy practice, including owning an independent community pharmacy and home infusion company, working in chain community pharmacy, and later as an ambulatory care pharmacist in a family medicine practice. His bachelor's and doctoral degrees are from Samford University. In addition, he is the 165th president of the American Pharmacists Association, the oldest and largest pharmacy association in the United States. Dr. Hogue is known nationally for his expertise and work in immunizations and vaccines. In 2020, he was appointed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, COVID-19 Vaccine Work Group. We are honored to have Dr. Hogue with us today, and I'm grateful for his work on the CDC's COVID-19 work group. I look forward to hearing his advice for the class of 2024. Before Dr. Hogue shares his remarks, I would like to ask Jonathan Holan to join Dr. Hogue and me at center stage for a special presentation to thank Dr. Hogue for being with us today.
Well, good morning. I flew in from California last night, so my body still thinks it's really early in the morning. I really appreciate the warm introduction, Dean Byrd, and for inviting me to share a few thoughts with you. Now, as you can tell from my accent, I'm from the south of California. Southern California. Actually, I spent 27 years of my life in Birmingham, and this feels like home to me. Today is an opportunity to make up for a celebration that was to have happened a year ago. And so we will celebrate. Does that sound like a good thing to do today, to celebrate? I see smiling eyes, as someone said earlier, among the class. That's great. You know, I thought about what to say, and it really struck me that it would be very easy to slide into cliches. You've all heard them already. We're in unprecedented times. They are. and to talk about the challenges that you've been through, which you have. And then it hit me. What might be more meaningful to each of you is if we look at how your today will impact your tomorrow. You see, yesterday's gone. Its decisions are nothing more than a fleeting memory. Some yesterdays are filled with regret and defeat. Some with pride and excitement. But most of our yesterdays are completely unremarkable in hindsight. We can't remember. The reality is that we cannot change yesterday. And thus we have to think about today. I have found that too many people spend too much of their life worried about, angry about, tied up in knots about their yesterdays. They let how someone wronged them, or how something didn't go their way, or how something that was completely out of their control them, control their entire thought process and their actions. In short, they let yesterday control their today in such a way that they can't see the present for the gift that it really is. Perhaps I will share with you a story from my personal life. This is the first time I've shared this story publicly, so forgive me if you feel I'm being a little bit too transparent or vulnerable, but I think we need to realize that regardless of our age or stage in life, regardless of positions we may have achieved, we all struggle with accepting today's gift and turning it into tomorrow's opportunity. The date was March 1st, 2020. In just 3 short weeks, I would be taking the helm of the oldest, largest pharmacy association in the United States. In fact, it's one of the oldest professional associations of any kind in our nation's history. I would become number 165, the 165th president of the American Pharmacists Association, established in Philadelphia in 1856. Now, I have to tell you, while I was pretty excited about taking the helm of APHA, as you could imagine, my excitement was absolutely nothing compared to that of my 77-year-old mother and my 79-year-old father. In fact, the tickets were bought, the hotel rooms were reserved, and I had practiced more than a few times what I boastfully thought would be the most inspirational speech that our profession has ever heard. Imagine what we think in our heads. It was beautiful. It was planned as a fireside chat, sitting in an overstuffed chair on a stage with a coffee table and a glass of sweet tea, setting the mood, wearing a Mr. Rogers type sweater, having a conversation with the 7,000 pharmacists and student pharmacists at the meeting, and all of those people live streaming online. In fact, when I close my eyes, I can see every person. All of the feels and emotions. But none of that ever happened, because by March the 15th, faced with the nation on lockdown, reality set in for the leadership of APHA that for the first time since the Civil War, there would be no face-to-face annual meeting for APHA. Now, we've all lived what happened in the ensuing weeks and now months. And I want to share with you what has happened to me. And I want to use my story to hopefully share some lessons that you can apply to your life. So when the annual meeting was canceled and we ground to a halt as a nation, I personally went through an intense period of anger and grief. I'm not sure at whom I was angry, but I was mad. And then very intensely sad. I can remember sitting with my wife at our kitchen table and breaking down in tears. I'd worked for nearly 30 years in APHA leadership, and I dreamed for that moment. All of the traditions and pomp and circumstance and opportunity that it presented were gone. The opportunity to share with my family, gone. I'd been cheated out of something that I'd worked very hard for and I felt like I deserved. My sadness lasted for quite a while. Actually, several weeks. In hindsight, I really feel sorry for the people who had to live with me and be around with me at the time because they had to walk on eggshells. If they were here, I'd apologize. My guess is that my feelings resonate to some degree with each one of you. My guess is that you've had some similar feelings of loss and frustration and anger and sadness over the past 18 months or so, that you've missed graduation ceremonies, you've had special events canceled, you've had family gatherings missed, milestones missed. Perhaps loved ones in your life have passed away. If you reflect and get very honest with yourself, you and I have shared tremendous loss and grief. Now, I want to tell you, it's okay to have those feelings. It's fine to have grief and anger in the moment. But I want to also tell you that it's in the past. You must move on. We, collectively, must move on. Now, let me chase the rabbit here just for a moment. By the way, chasing a rabbit means I'm going to go on a tangent. Okay? For just a moment and talk about moving on when things don't go as we expect. Folks, that's going to happen to you frequently in life. You're going to go to work for an employer who promised you the best working conditions, the best pay, the best staffing support, the best patient care environment. And then a patient's going to come in and curse the very ground you stand on because you won't refill his Xanax early. And your district manager is going to tell you they're cutting your tech hours and that you're going to have to give 100 flu shots anyway. I could go on and on and on. You get the point. I'm appalled, amazed, actually, at pharmacists who decide that the best way to cope with the things that don't go right in their life is to write about it day after day after day on social media. There are some pharmacists that I love dearly who air their grievances so regularly on Facebook and Instagram that I'm convinced that Netflix will soon be signing a contract for a new reality series. And then one of these pharmacists lost her job due to a store closing. She applied at every chain, every hospital, everywhere she could think to apply. 6 months with no regular employment. She called me and asked me for career counseling and to help her find a job. I did my best, but what I wanted to say to her most of all, and refrained, was stop living in the past. Stop posting day after day after day all of the negative stuff that's going on in your life. Folks, no one wants to hire a complainer, okay? No one wants to hook their saddle to a horse that's going nowhere. The way you conduct yourself in the moment today will impact your future, whether you think it will or not. It will. So make better decisions. Choose to be positive in your interactions rather than negative, especially online. Now back to my story. I was, in fact, installed as president of APHA, becoming the very first president to be installed virtually. My wife was by my side. I had my hand raised. And rather than giving an inspirational speech, I gave brief remarks about only beginning to understand that the task that had been placed before me was to lead a profession through the most significant pandemic of our lifetime. In the interest of time, let me just cut to the chase of what happened during my presidency. In just 12 short months as APHA's president, we launched and carried out weekly live webinars to provide pharmacists with updates on what was happening with COVID-19. I became something of a radio talk show host, bringing guests from across healthcare onto the show. The brightest minds from pharmacy and also from high-ranking officials from HHS, CDC, FDA, the NIH, the World Health Organization, leadership from medicine and public health. When I handed over the golden microphone in March of this year, over 60,000 people from dozens of countries had tuned in throughout the year to learn the latest about the pandemic. So rather than having a single speech at an annual meeting where I would impact 6,000 people, it turns out I was able to touch more people's lives in person as APHA's president than any other president that had served before me. The good Lord above had given me an opportunity every single week to offer hope and encouragement to a profession feeling a great deal of stress and pain. Still to this day, I get emails and notes from pharmacists telling me how much they depended on those weekly sessions to encourage them and get the latest information. And you know what? It was so much fun. I had a blast. I had the time of my life. And I didn't even know I had a voice for radio. You didn't either, did you? Because of that show, I've been on Fox News, CNN, NPR, CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, and I've interviewed on more podcasts than I can count. If you ask me now, what did the pandemic cheat you out of, Michael? My answer would be absolutely nothing. The pandemic gave me such a rich and wonderful opportunity to connect with thousands of people I would have never otherwise met. I've got friends in all 50 states and in many nations. Oh, sure, I miss some events that are pomp and circumstance, the traditions that those who've gone before me got to do, but I wouldn't trade my pandemic presidency for anything in the world. So what have you done with your pandemic? Maybe nothing yet. You can't change yesterday. What are you going to do today? What are you going to do that will launch your career, set you apart, put you in a position to be able to flourish in a world that is incredibly unpredictable? Now, you want to get those coats on your shoulders, and I don't want to take too much more time. So what I want to do is give you 4 solid pieces of advice, some concrete action steps that you can take today, regardless of who you are and regardless of your personality or your situation or your circumstances. So here we go. Number 1, I've said it already, your past is in the past. Leave it there. Focus on your future. Do whatever it takes each and every day to think positive and move forward. I found that daily reading from inspirational texts helps me with this. And I also surround myself with positive people. If you are a naysayer or a complainer, let me tell you, you will not have an audience with me for very long. And that's probably a good habit for all of you to adopt as well. Number 2, encourage everyone with whom you come into contact. You do not know what other people are going through in the moment. Perfect strangers are walking around broken and they need encouragement. You may say, well, that's not my nature. Well, what I'd say to you is that success isn't natural, folks. You got to practice every day. Encourage everyone sincerely through their entire day. The art of the handwritten note is so powerful. I keep a box of note cards in my office, and when I see someone doing something great on my team, even something that makes a small difference, I write them a note of appreciation to let them know how thankful I am that they're on my team. Being an encourager makes a huge, huge difference. And it gives you energy, and it puts you in a positive light. Number 3, behave as if your grandma was sitting right beside you all day. Okay? This is the most practical of all of them. What does this mean? I have watched students over the years in their interactions with faculty. The vast majority of students are highly professional and work very hard, but there are some notable exceptions. I won't name names. I don't need to get into the details, but let me just tell you one thing. Pharmacy is a very, very small world, okay? There is not a week that goes by that I don't get at least one call from someone in my network of friends nationwide asking me to give my thoughts on one of my former students or former residents or former employees. Now, I sometimes haven't interacted with a former student in 20 or 30 years, but I still get the call. When your professors get that call, and they will, don't you want them to have every reason to boast about what a wonderful, caring, hardworking student you were? Is arguing for 2 hours over 2 points really worth it? Probably not. Number 4, build a big network. I'm reminded of a former student of mine from your state who called me about 2 years ago searching for a job in Tennessee. She wanted to know that if I knew of anyone who might be hiring. Now think about that for a minute. Mind you that I live in California. I've never lived in Tennessee. I was thoughtful and said, well, I do have some close friends in the state that run companies and are hospital pharmacy directors, but why did you call me to ask me this question? She said, oh, Dr. Hogue, you know everyone. I knew if anyone could help me, you could help me. Well, I did provide her with some contacts and gave her some numbers. And then I said, you know, before we hang up, do you mind if I ask you a couple of fairly personal questions? She said, sure. What? What are the questions? I said, since you graduated from pharmacy school, have you been a member of the Tennessee Pharmacists Association? She said, well, no, I guess I really just didn't think about it. I said, well, more importantly to me, is your membership in APHA paid up? A bit more embarrassed, I could tell from her response, she said, well, not since I was a student. I ended with the third question. Have you belonged to any professional association or attended any professional meetings in the last 10 years? And she said, no, I guess I just got too busy. I did gently coach her that it would do no good to worry about what happened in the past, but I thought that the most important thing that she could possibly do for her career at this moment was to join TPA and APHA and any other association in the area that she could and begin immediately trying to build a network of pharmacists and employers as quickly as possible. I attended my first APHA ASP mid-year regional meeting in October of 1992 in Oxford, Mississippi. There are at least a dozen people that I met at that meeting who I'm still friends with to this day. Most of them are presidents and CEOs of their own companies, or senior vice presidents, or deans, or directors of pharmacy. They're influencers. I just simply cannot overstate to each one of you how critical it is to your future to join professional organizations and actually go to their meetings. Your career really does depend on it. It is very, very important. Well, enough of my ramblings. I really want to congratulate you. What an exciting moment for you and for you. All of you love these people up on stage with your whole heart. You support them, you cheer for them, and I want to just take a moment and ask our P2 class to give an applause to you for all that you're doing to help support them through this journey. Class, let's give our loved ones a hand. Thank you for having me here, and God bless.
Thank you, Dean Hogue, for sharing that very personal story and your words of wisdom. I think it resonated with each of us in this room, not just our P2 class. As I said earlier, this has been a much anticipated day for the men and women about to receive their white coats. And it is for our college as well. This day has special significance. We were established in 2005, and we now have nearly 900 graduates who make up the college's alumni base. There were many who said there couldn't be a College of Pharmacy at East Tennessee State University. They were wrong. Because of our quality faculty, staff, and students, we are an outstanding College of Pharmacy that consistently receives national recognition. One of the things I look forward to as dean, our white coat ceremony is second only to seeing the smile on your face as you walk across the stage and graduate at our hooding and commencement ceremony. I also want to take a moment to honor our college's namesake, Mr. Bill Gatton, who's been a tremendous supporter of the college since the beginning. His commitment to our college is unfailing and humbling, and without him, we would not be here today. Now, every class is unique, and the class of 2024 is no exception. I want to share some interesting facts about some of the student pharmacists on the stage beside me. The class of 2024 consists of 65% female students, 35% male students, 37% hold a bachelor's degree or higher. They represent 10 different states. 67% are from Tennessee, and 87% hail from this region. They attended 25 different colleges and universities, with 1/3 completing their undergraduate work at ETSU. There are several gardeners in the class, including one student who grew tobacco. There are several students who are parents to fur babies. Among them, there are dogs, cats. There are also goats, rabbits, chickens, and 2 pigs named Patrick and Pepper. One student got engaged at the world's happiest place, Disney World. We also have numerous athletes, including a college softball player, a college baseball player, a college volleyball player, a former Little League baseball coach, and 2 students, contrary to what was said in the movie, A League of Their Own, they confirmed that there is, in fact, crying in baseball. And finally, we have a couple of students who are not afraid of a little dirt, as one races cars in the desert and the other simply loves dirt track racing. At this time, I would like to recognize members of our platform party who have not already made presentations. Please stand as I introduce you. Mr. Steve Ellis, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs. Mr. Thomas Brewster, President of the Class of 2022, he will lead the Class of 2024 in the Oath of the Student Pharmacist a little later. Dr. Ralph Lugo, Professor and Chair of Pharmacy Practice. Dr. Stacy Brown, Professor and Chair of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Dr. Adam Welch, Associate Dean for Assessment and Academic Affairs. And Mr. Bruce Ganaway, Assistant Dean for Finance and Administration. In the audience today, we are pleased to have several special guests. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing so we may recognize you all. Ms. Jenny Brock, Johnson City Commissioner. Mrs. Donna Nolan, East Tennessee State University's First Lady. Mr. Gary Mabry, longtime college supporter and past President CEO of the Johnson City Chamber of Commerce. We have several representatives from Walgreens Corporation, a valued partner and generous supporter of the college and our students, including Mr. Tyler Skeens, Store Manager in Kingsport, Tennessee, and Intern Coordinator for the Tri-Cities. Ms. Rachel Stewart, Store Manager in Newport, Tennessee, and Intern Coordinator for the Tri-Cities. Dr. Matthew Lunsick, Pharmacy Manager in Blunteville, Tennessee. Dr. Sloan Cleveland, Pharmacy Manager in Knoxville, Tennessee. Dr. Lauren Adams, Healthcare Supervisor for Western Kentucky and Southern Indiana. And Mr. Aaron West, Director of Pharmacy and Retail Operations for Western Kentucky and Southern Indiana. We also have alumni and friends who were instrumental in recruiting these students to the class of 2024. Thank you all for your continued support of Gatton College. One of the strengths of our college, as recognized by both our student body and the Accreditation Council for Pharmacy Education, is the quality of our faculty. They also recognize other groups important to our success: our college staff, preceptors, donors, residents, and fellows. At this time, all members of the Bill Gatton College of Pharmacy, faculty, staff, preceptors, donors, residents, and fellows, please stand and be recognized. And finally, special thanks to our student marshals who carried our college banners and all the student ambassadors assisting today, a Saturday morning. The highlight of today's ceremony is the presentation of the white coat. Rather than simply handing these out during orientation, we hold this special event so our student pharmacists understand the significance of the white coat and what it means to wear it. With the white coat comes responsibility, trust, and integrity. People will see you differently. They will depend on you for answers and for help. And this will happen well before you graduate. It won't be long before friends and family call and ask for your advice about a medication regimen or a side effect. Please hear my words. Do not answer them. You are not ready. And we will tell you when you are. I will now turn over the program to Mr. Ellis as he reads the name of each student. Please come forward to receive your white coat. Dr. Hogue, please join me at center stage.
Eric Mitchell Abbey. Amir Makbul Adam. Mariam Al-Shawi. Sydney Dale Brown. Conrad William Byington. Grayson Brooke Calebs. Madison Michelle Chandler. Catherine Marie Cefelli. Melinda Naomi Coffey. Dawn Elizabeth Couch. Riley Keith Davis. Eileen Elizabeth Eagany. Kelly Renee Guerin. Alexa Caitlin Hale. Gabrielle Erin Hall. Najme Hayel. Tyler Ethan Iskey. Caitlin Sabrine James. Samantha Irene King.
Way to go, Sam!
Jeffrey Daniel Klein. Casey Mariah Lefevers. Rebecca LaSainte. Autumn Brooke Locke. Monica Mirakai. Samantha Catherine Morris. Kara Lynn Moyers. Zachary Matthew Neverstitch. Chelsea Audra Elizabeth Petusky. Justin Benny Powers. Sophia Kennedy Sargent. DeBarian Simmons. Tabitha Clarice Sineth. Drew Hamilton Smith. Kelly Nicole Smith. Michael Nathan Smith. Blake Austin Stickley. Caitlin Nicole Stiles. Bryce Sutton. Gabrielle Varana. Mary Caitlin Vickers. Jennifer Widener.
At this time, I invite Thomas Brewster to come to the podium and administer the oath of a student pharmacist.
Thank you, Dr. Bird. Good morning, everyone. I would first like to congratulate the class of 2024. I know how much time, hard work, and dedication it takes to make it to this point, and you should all feel extremely proud. I remember when the class of 2022 was receiving our white coats. At the time, I thought that 4 years felt like an eternity. But believe me when I say that these next 3 years are going to absolutely fly by. So embrace the experience and enjoy it while it lasts, because you're about to forge relationships that will last a lifetime. I would now like to ask the class of 2024 please rise, and to please stand as we recite the oath of a student pharmacist together. I would also like to ask that any pharmacists, student pharmacists, preceptors, or faculty present to please stand and read the oath as well to show support for these men and women as they commit themselves to our beloved profession. Please read along with me the oath of a student pharmacist printed on the back of your program. As I embark upon the study of pharmacy at the Bill Gatton College of Pharmacy, I will enter into a relationship of mutual respect with my teachers and colleagues in an environment of academic excellence. I will embrace the breadth and depth of the basic and clinical sciences that form the foundation for lifelong learning. I will display the qualities of honesty, integrity, and professionalism that will earn the respect of my patients, my colleagues, my family, and myself. I will value the knowledge, wisdom, and culture of service of pharmacists who have preceded me and will endeavor to further the practice of pharmacy in their tradition. I will maintain the trust expected of a pharmacist and honor the sanctity of the patient-pharmacist relationship. I will respect patient confidentiality and hold sacred the patient's right to privacy. I will place the care of my patients as my foremost responsibility, and I will grow in the profession with conscience and dignity. As a student pharmacist, I will strive to uphold these standards as I advance toward full membership in the profession of pharmacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the East Tennessee State University Bill Gatton College of Pharmacy Class of 2024. Again, it is our pleasure to have you here today for this special event. Each of you played a significant role in making this day a reality for the people on this stage. Thank you for your many years of support and for the support and encouragement you will give them over the next 3 years as they earn the Doctor of Pharmacy degree. After the ceremony, you are all welcome to visit Gatton College of Pharmacy on the Veterans Affairs campus to tour the grounds and buildings and see the special place your students will call home during their journey to becoming a pharmacist. Please stand and remain at your seats as the students recess from the stage. Thank you again, and be safe.